council meeting that was in April. I just want to remind that the public meeting will be recorded and published to the council's website approximately 48 hours after the conclusion of the meeting, and it will remain on the council's website. Audio and vision of any persons making a deputation and vision of persons present in the gallery will be captured in the recording. Can I ask elected members to join me in standing to read the pledge? We recognise the city's considerable natural and cultural heritage, including thousands of years of traditional ownership by Ghana, and the more recent contribution from people either born here or who have migrated here. As we meet together, we build on this heritage by respecting and listening to each other, thinking clearly, being receptive to new ideas, speaking honestly, and deciding wisely for the current and future well-being of those we serve. Thanks, everyone. Councillor Eaton.
Yes, I would like to move a motion in respect to a minute's silence in response to the tragic events that happened in Bondi over the weekend. What we've actually seen in that situation is 6 people unfortunately murdered, and the bravery of a New South Wales female police inspector, Inspector Scott, and the other civilians that actually came and tried to keep these people away. So the motions, if it could go up, please. So that we have 1 minute's silence, we be observed in honour of those killed and injured on Saturday the 13th of April 2024 at Bondi Junction, New South Wales, and in recognition of the bravery of Inspector Amy Scott. I also believe that the Mayor might have some correspondence that she might want to read, but thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Themiolotis?
Happy to second. No need to debate. Councillor Eaton's covered that.
Thank you. Just to pick up on what Councillor Eaton said, I might just put the motion and then read that correspondence. Any questions, debate? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And the motion is carried unanimously. I just wanted to let you all know that I know I didn't have your permission, but I did reach out to the Mayor of the City of Waverley yesterday morning. She's a fellow social worker like me. And so I asked her, just let her know that we were thinking of her and her community, and to be assured of our prayers and support at this very sad time, and that our deepest condolences would go to her. And she very generously responded in very short time afterwards, saying, "Well, thank you so much for reaching out and for your condolences. It's been quite a harrowing time, as I expect that as the enormity of what has occurred since then, our community will be in deep grief. I too am a social worker by training, and some of those skills are definitely helping, but it will take some time, I think." So perhaps if we can now stand and recognise the silence. Thank you, everyone. And I also want to make a note to welcome back Councillor Wilkes. We're thrilled to know that your little is doing so well that you can be with us this evening. So thank you, everyone. Just before we move into our first item, 2.1, page 7, I'm just checking that all of our councillors have received the advice from the Audit and Risk Committee. You've received it by email, and there's also a hard copy available to you on, if you have not had an opportunity to have a read of it. I'm just going to give you a minute before we move into the item to make sure that you've had ample time to reflect on the information that's been provided to you. It's just a minute's reading time if you just refresh yourself. Looks like you're all pretty done. So I just want to make a request. If anyone does have a conflict of interest, this is the time before we open up the motion. Councillor Yeomans.
Yes, I'd like to identify the conflict of interest, a general conflict of interest. I'm a CWMS customer. I intend to stay at the meeting to debate and vote on the matter.
Thank you.
I'm here for staff.
Yes, please. Thank you. Councillor Pritchard. Can we have your mic?
Just declaring a general conflict of interest as a CWMS resident. I intend to stay in the meeting and debate and vote.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Platten.
Yes, I'm also declaring a general conflict of interest. I'm a CWMS customer. I intend to stay in the meeting and vote.
Thank you. Councillor Greaves.
Can I say ditto?
You can.
I will say, I'd just like to declare a general conflict of interest as a CWMS customer. However, given the nature of the decision we're making, having a long-term impact on the whole of council, I will stay in the meeting and debate and vote.
Thank you so much. I'll now open the motion. I'm in your hands. Councillor Platten.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to move the motion as written.
Do you wish to debate?
I'm very happy to speak for a few minutes. So I, along with my fellow councillors here, have put an incredible amount of time and effort with staff into this budget for consultation. And I'm a big believer in consultation. So with moving this motion, I hope that this will go out for consultation and we will have a lot of participants tell us their likes, their dislikes and everything in between. And then we can come and meet back here and make some final decisions on budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fisher, question or debate?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Do you wish to debate?
No.
Councillor Themialotis. Sorry, we're just getting, there we go. Can you go again? Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Debate question?
Yes, a little bit of debate would be great. Thank you. Elected members, there's no surprises that this is going to be our sort of budget repair budget. And what we know is how we got here, and it didn't happen overnight. It happened over many years of historical poor decisions of this council, decisions made long before us. We also know what it's going to take to repair the budget. And it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be fun. But there's decisions we have to make right now, because if we don't, the future and the progression of our council is sort of at stake. We know what's going to happen if we don't make these tough decisions now. Part of me sort of grapples with this a little bit because sort of anything above sort of the CPI sort of makes me feel like we're asking our community to sort of bail out or bail us out from some of the poor decisions that have been made. And some of those at that time, they probably felt like really good decisions. But you can't make good decisions and continue to spend. And that was the failings of previous chambers that's left us where we are today. I've been really brutally honest with our community in telling them that things in this council are going to change. The programs, services, grants and rebates, the things you know, the things you're attached to, and the things you love are going to look different. They're going to feel different. They're going to be delivered differently. They may not be continuing in the same form. But these are things that we've had to look at. And these are decisions that weren't made easily. We didn't get around a table and all put our hand up and say, aye, yes to everything, no. We had Tuesday nights, we had Thursday nights, we had Saturday sessions. I spent too much time with you guys. But we scrutinised everything. I think there's been more questions thrown around from elected members in this chamber than I've ever seen in a long period of time. And not only that, we challenged council staff on particular elements of this budget. We said, well, hang on a second, why don't we look at it in a different way? Why don't we see if this can happen a different way? Or why are we doing it this way? I saw a number of elected members sort of push back on items, and then they would come back to us with more information. So these decisions weren't easy, but those are the necessary decisions we have to make. The Escosa report, and I've heard members in my community say the Escosa report, it was a damning report of council that we were unsustainable and we're potentially unsustainable, but we are taking some steps to move forward. What the Escosa report also said is that our council is going to be unsustainable with the amount of assets we hold. So the buildings, the facilities, there's areas of land, there's playgrounds. We can't continue down this track. So we have to change the mindset and thinking of our community. And things are going to look different. It's going to look like rationalising our assets and providing one fantastic asset for different communities and taking away assets that you used to know and love, but now we need to provide differently to you. These are the tough decisions this chamber is making because previous chambers were weak and couldn't make these decisions. But not everything is doom and gloom. We are still delivering on a forward plan. There is still a suite of projects and programs that our staff are pulling together and our staff are going to be delivering for our community. We don't stop. We haven't turned the power off. We haven't turned the lights off. But what we are doing is trying to shut off that spend. There's going to be pressures on this council too when it comes to election commitments. And 100% election commitments for brand new is going to be very challenging for this chamber. So our discussions with our local MPs are going to change about the priorities of council going forward. This is a tough budget, but a necessary stage forward. And I hope elected members, I don't feel good about this, but I hope elected members could support this as the next stage going forward.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Pritchard.
Just a very quick debate with regards to representing the Audit and Risk Committee. So both Councillor Yeomans and I met with the, as part of the Audit and Risk Committee met last night. As elected members are aware, this meeting was delayed from last week so that the Audit and Risk Committee could spend a lot more time reviewing this budget paper before coming to the meeting. The elected members have received some advice to the council, to council, which has been printed and emailed. But just for the public record, I guess the recommendations of the Audit and Risk Committee is to support this proposed budget going out to consultation as it is. There's a healthy debate around the return to surplus and a commendation to the council for the amount of work that's gone into preparing this budget. And so I think I speak for the Audit and Risk Committee and just recommending that that this council adopts this motion as it is, so it can go out to consultation. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge the work that we've all done. Thank the staff for the incredible work that they've put in over the last number of months, 6 to 8 months or more. Thank the elected members for working so collaboratively. I'm clearly in support of this motion going out to public consultation. It's bold, it's well informed and scrutinised. It clearly will be seeking a surplus for the first time in 8 years, and that's really important to spread that message. I think we're clearly doing what we're required to do under the obligations of the Act, and I think it quite clearly demonstrates to the community what we're prepared to at least consider, and for them to have a good look at, and we're providing that information, which I also highly recommend the staff for the work that they've done. I acknowledge that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Bill. Councillor Wilkes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank staff, and yes, Marion, I feel like I have missed a couple of EM sessions, but I'm sorry, Councillor Thinamiotis, but yes, we did see a lot of each other because we really did explore it, and thank you staff for always being there to prepare and have the documents for us. With the community and going out there, I see people get excited about major projects. That's what they love. They love it when we spend money. They love going to our libraries. They love everything that we do and that we offer, the services that we give. And often they want more. Everyone wants more. But we're using the credit card to pay the bills, and that's not really feasible anymore. So this budget is not ideal because it is above CPI and we are increasing rates in general, but the exposure report has said that we are in an unsustainable position. This will be our first surplus in 8 years if we go out to community consult and people approve and we are able to provide or have this budget as a resolution. So I think it's reasonable to say that the previous budgets where they have been in deficit, where the struggle was real, there was COVID, there's been historical decisions that haven't helped. But I think it's really great that us as a chamber are sitting here and saying that that is enough. We are going to make the hard decision, or we have with this budget, and we're going to put it out to the community, make that hard decision to say, okay, enough is enough. We're no longer going to operate with a deficit. We are going to try and get Onkaparinga in a better position. So this is difficult, but I really hope that the community does see that that's what we're trying to do, and it's a future budget. It is a budget bridge. So let's hopefully take this out to the community and get approval and start looking up and moving up and doing great things for our community, because that's the hard decision that we're going to make, but we're going to do it and it's going to work. The exposure report. So actually, I'm going to finish there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Platten, did you wish to close debate? Nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? All those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Now we move to item 2.2. And the recommendation is that council approve the draft annual business plan. So this is the content to go with the numbers. To Councillor Greaves.
Yes, thank you. Happy to move as written.
Do you wish to speak to debate?
No.
Okay. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Fisher.
No, I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any questions? Any debate? I'll put the motion. All those in, oh, sorry, did you wish to speak? You're right. All right, all those in favour? All those against? The motion's carried unanimously. Thank you, everyone. I think that is the close of tonight's meeting. This will be going out to community consultation. I encourage you all to use the resources that the staff have provided, and we'll be out there to talk with our community, and we'll be coming back for a final decision on the budget in due course. Closing the meeting.